Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here. Welcome back to episode 2 of the F1 2017 career mode. Really appreciate the support in the last episode on that one. It was really cool to see you guys commenting and all that sort of stuff, so appreciate it once again. So we're starting episode 2 here by looking in the R&D tree, and there is so much we can do. We haven't got too many resource points here, so we've got to choose wisely about what we want to upgrade. And I'm looking down here at the aerodynamics because I personally feel the Williams, yeah, it's a pretty damn good car in a straight line, but around the corners it definitely does struggle. I think I saw somewhere in one of the menus it's the second worst chassis on the grid apparently, which is quite terrible. So we're going to upgrade some of the aerodynamics and also have a look around here and what other things we could possibly upgrade, but unfortunately that leaves us with not too many points free. So I was trying to look for something that cost us 500 points here, so I can see I'm struggling. I'm like unavailable, don't have enough points, all that sort of stuff. So a little bit unfortunate, but it's going to make us work harder in the future to try and get more resource points. I'm going to try and do at least 2 practice programs per race. There we go, finally in something in the durability section we can afford, so I'm going to start upgrading that, unlock that part of the tree. So good stuff there, starting off the episode with some happy updates, and you can see stuff is coming in Bahrain, and also the aerodynamics should be finished by Russia as well. Anyway, let's get to the Grand Prix.
Arrive in Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix. First up is today's practice session.
Cheers for that, David. Appreciate you screaming at me like that. Anyway, getting straight into the practice programs here in China. This is the tyre durability test. And you can see here, it's a tough one. And we're on lap 2. Our first lap went horribly wrong. We set an okay lap time, but we didn't do too good with the tyre deck stuff. But we did, by the end of the lap, just about managed to keep it in the green. A bit of a lock up there in the last corner. Didn't phase us, and we just go across the line there. It doesn't really matter too much about the lap time there. It wasn't the greatest, but we did pass the test, which is the most important thing. Next up, we have the test here, the track acclimatization here, basically just driving through the barriers. We did a good job with this. We passed it with a couple of corners to go, and we actually managed to get the purple one as well, meaning we get more resource points, which is absolutely awesome stuff. So, go around the last couple of corners to complete the test here. Exactly what we needed. China, not the trickiest track in the world here, but nonetheless, let's get ready for quali, guys. Can we stay the 4th best car on the grid? Let's find out.
We'd like to welcome you from wherever in the world you join us today for this F1 qualifying session here in Shanghai, China.
And it wasn't just Shanghai, China, it was a wet Shanghai, China for qualifying here today. Not my favourite conditions in the world. You can see I'm really struggling. I've got like an ultra dry setup on for the race, and in these sort of conditions I am definitely struggling. That lap time only just put us ahead of Van Dorn and Verline. Remember that for later on. Now through the last corner, this is not looking too good for us here. We're sliding about quite a bit, as I said. We're going to be using the dry setup here, looking for a good race performance, but it looks like quali is going to be a bit of a struggle here as we head down to turn 1, throw it into the right hander. Trying to take a bit of a different line through here, trying to take a bit of a more of a racing wet line, but it didn't really help us out too much. I mean, we're still sliding, having a bit of opposite lock here and there, and having to just about keep it in the right direction. But small adjustments on the steering wheel here, putting the power down, shifting up through the gears. Are we going to be decent in the first sector? It should be better, like half a second up on our personal best so far. And I'll tell you what, that's not too bad of a first sector whatsoever, but then we lock up. Both front tyres locking up. We somehow just about getting it stopped in time. I think a little bit of a trick you can do is by shifting down the gears, if you do lock the tyres, you can sort of throw it in a little bit whilst you're in first gear. I mean, don't recommend normally using first gear. It's going to wear down the gearbox quite a bit if you rev it like crazy in first gear. But if you're really desperate to make the corner, sometimes shifting it into first gear can get it sort of turned into the corner a little bit better. But a slight mistake here on our quali lap, running a tad wide over the curbs. You generally want to avoid the curbs in these wet conditions, but I'm all over them, which is not a good sign. Now, going to the last sector, we're only about half a second up, still 1.2 seconds is that down on the leader so far. A bit more of a slide once again, but this is the one part of the track where I'd say the Williams should be okay. Through the long right-hander onto this long straight, we have good top-end speed. Surely we can't lose too much time through here. So look at the top right. That is the delta on our best lap time so far, and it's about 7/10 of a second so far, which probably would just keep us, not that, you know, just maybe bump us up a couple of positions here. P16 currently as we go into the, oh no! Oh, I thought I was going to be off the track there, but somehow we keep it in the right direction. But it's actually improved our delta. How does that work? Anyway, 9/10 of a second as we go to the final corner here. Can we improve through here? Bit of a slide around the last corner. Oh, we've absolutely monstered the last sector. And, well, not the last sector, the last corner in particular was at 2.5 seconds quicker than our last lap. And 1.5 of that was gained in the last corner. We must have gone off on our last lap, or I don't know, we just didn't have a great run through that last time, did we? Not good stuff whatsoever. whatsoever. Lance Stroll still beats us, but by the smallest of margins there, 0.02 of a second. Really close stuff here in qualifying. It's going to be exciting for the race. I feel I should have better race pace, especially if it is going to be in dry conditions as well. Surprise people in this race. I mean, Kvyat's quite far down. Stoffel Van Dorn's very far down there. I think Van Dorn beat Alonso in the last race, so this is going to be interesting to see what can he do this time out in China here. So, no setup changes, of course. What are we going to do with the setup and strategies, I should say, not the setup? Well, we're going to just do one thing, and that's put a bit more fuel in the car so we can use the rich fuel a little bit more in this race. So, let's look to the lights at the top or middle of our screen, I should say, as the lights go out, and away we go here in China for the second race of the season, and a pretty decent start, I must say, as we head down to turn number 1. We're going to be side by side with Lance Stroll. We should be able to get the overtake in. No, because Lance Stroll with the outside line actually does a really good job and holds it around there and actually just pulls out on us there, so good stuff from him. There's 3 wide ahead of us. Grosjean, Verstappen and Magnussen going 3 wide. I've got to say, a good result there in quali for the 2 Haas cars, starting was that in P7 and P8. That's a really solid job. They seem to have jumped us here today, and there's 3 wide between them still, and actually Magnussen gets past Verstappen in the braking zone, whilst we're just, you know, we're playing it a bit cautious through here. We don't do anything too silly. I feel like we're in a pretty damn good position, and once we get into the general race pace, I think we should do a good job and hopefully get past some, you know, some of the people like Stroll, I should say, would get past him. Oh, but no, we're not going to just wait for the race pace to come in. We're going to go round the outside of Lance Stroll, down the inside, and I think that's a pretty solid overtake down Lance Stroll, to be fair. But let's have a look at this race start once again. At the top of the screen, the lights are coming on. Look for us in about mid-pack here. As the lights go out, we get a decent start, nothing spectacular. Keep our P10 as we head down to turn 1. Definitely look for the 3 wide ahead of us here. Look at that, 2 Hasses and the Red Bull all going 3 wide. It's quite spectacular to see those guys going 3 wide for so much time. And, well, they're still 3 wide. Like, how are they doing this? I mean, Max Verstappen isn't liking that in the middle of a Haas sandwich there. He's probably thinking he's going to end up in a barrier any second now. You can see it's focusing on us here as we've got the 3 wide action ahead of us. There's actually contact. I think Magnussen sort of pushed Verstappen into the side of Grosjean there, but we're playing it a bit cautious there. Looks like a Renault's diving out the inside of the Torso further back in the pack. It looks like Van Dorn's made up a couple of positions as well. I just love the replay cameras. They're so awesome. Just get the great angles through here, much better than the last couple of games. They seem to have been improved a good amount. But look at this move round the outside of Lance Stroll. I was really happy with that one. Didn't really expect to go for that one, but he left the space, and you sort of got to go for them in those sort of instances. So back on board with us here on his first lap of the race here. Romain Grosjean ahead, and then Verstappen just ahead of him, but he's probably going to get past, I would say he's going to get past Magnussen quite quickly here, to be fair, but let's see what he can do down the straight. You saw in our top speed test, the Haas is actually quite a quick car in a straight line, so let's not just sort of bluff it off straight away. I think he's got a pretty good chance of keeping ahead of Verstappen, but you'd say on race pace, surely Verstappen's got to get past him pretty quickly, but we're trying to catch up to the back of Grosjean here. We're actually doing a good job in the slipstream, and we know the Williams is the fastest car in this game in a straight line, especially at the start of the career mode, so we're definitely going to try and improve the aerodynamics of this car. Of course, it's not perfect right now, not the best chassis on this car, but we should be doing a pretty good job at the start of the season. That's only sort of the mid part of the season where Williams in real life have started to fall away. You've seen in the last couple of races they have started to struggle here. So anyway, down the main straight here, Romain Grosjean is there, but with no DRS we're not really close enough. I mean, we could try the optimistic inside line, but Grosjean really backed off there. I know it looks really stupid me locking up there, but I honestly thought he was slamming on the brakes, so I had to do the same. Luckily didn't lose too much time there, but it still looked a little bit silly, and unfortunately it did lose maybe a tenth or two here. But as we go on to lap number 5 here, we're quite close to Romain Grosjean. Kevin Magnussen there as well, so Verstappen's up the road. I'm not sure what Grosjean's doing here. Like, what's he doing? Why doesn't he steer into the corner? So I think we have the same sort of problem we've had with the AI in the past. Like, if you try and go for a move but pull out, they still think you're going to go for the move and they sort of back out the corner. That is a bit frustrating, and that's one way that the AI hasn't changed much from 2016. Like, side-to-side contact and all that sort of stuff, or, you know, wheel-to-wheel racing is still not, like, optimal. I really hope there's a day one patch that sort of slightly improves them, because they still sort of back out of stuff a little bit too easy here. And I know I'm not the best driver in the world, and they still back out of it a little bit too, you know, too much for my liking here. But down the inside of Grosjean, no, we're not going to be able to make the same move as we did on Stroll. There's a yellow flag out on track. Looks like there's somebody behind us on track. I think it's, yeah, you can see on the mini-map here, someone spun it around onto the grass. Oh, it's Julian Palmer. Oh, it couldn't have got much worse for him there. So he's finished his race here. He's going to be last, and well, well, another DNF for the old Jopo. So, nonetheless, going down the back straight here. Oh, well, no, not really just yet. We're going to run onto the marbles first. Down the back straight, we're going to get some DRS. Is it going to be an overtaking opportunity to get past Grosjean here? We should, in all honesty, get past him here. We got the DRS. Are we going to try and risk it into the braking zone? I look at, but no. I just think it's a little bit too late. I don't want to cause an accident here. But by lap number 6, we're definitely thinking about pitting here to go over to the soft compound tyres. But, of course, a great opportunity to get past Grosjean is thrown away by me, you know, just messing up that corner. That's such a tricky corner, in my opinion. And I'm not purposely driving on the grass. I think I just wasn't concentrating. So, DRS open, even though we're nowhere near a second of Grosjean now. We've got the DRS to claw back a couple of attempts down the back straight. And I think one of these cars in front is going to pit here. So we're going to follow one of the Haas cars in pit lane. Not too sure which one it's going to be at this point, but I remember one of them goes in. Magnussen goes around for another lap, so it's going to be Grosjean pitting here with us. And I think we did a pretty good job at timing that, that turn in through that corner. I know that's a stupid thing to analyse, but I thought that actually was pretty good. The turning point and braking point into the pit lane. Pretty good for me. Nonetheless, going to the pit lane here, we're going to switch over to those soft compound tyres. Obviously not quite as much grip, but they should get us to the end of the race. And nobody's going to overtake us in the pit lane, which is good stuff. And I think we've actually done a good job. Haas have done a terrible job in the pit lane. We've jumped Romain Grosjean in the pit lane, so awesome stuff there. Exactly what we needed. We messed it up on the corners, a couple of corners before, to try and get the DRS overtaken, but the Williams crew in the pit have done a fantastic job to get us out ahead of Romain Grosjean here. So down the main straight, there's Magnussen just in front of us there on cold tyres. We're going to throw it through these first couple of corners. We're in the rich fuel mixture here. We've got to push it all out there. Got to push it all out there to get past Magnussen ASAP. I think it's going to be incredibly tough to catch down anyone else in front, but if we get past him, that's P7, best of the rest, and that'd be a great opportunity for us to get more points here. So, are we going to look for a move down the inside here of Kevin Magnussen? Yes, we are down the inside. Oh my goodness, we get it stopped, and I just about pull it off. That's got to be one of my best overtakes ever, because it was just timed perfectly. I know it doesn't look that amazing, but in terms of just getting the braking point and not making any contact and just a generally good overtake, that's got to be up there with one of my best there. So a bit of a lock up there, which put us on the back foot here, but we took a bit of a wide line, and we have got the extra heat in the tyres right now, so we should be going for an overtake here. Down the inside, you can see Verstappen just ahead there, but he doesn't put up much of a fight there, Magnussen. He sees me coming down the inside and it just sort of lets me through. So, not much defending there going on from Magnussen. I would have expected a bit more from him there, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Up to P7 here on lap number 8 of this race here. You know, pretty good. Exactly what I wanted from this race was to be best of the rest. I don't think I'm going to be quite quick enough to catch up to the back of Verstappen here, but we'll give it our all. We'll push to the max. No pun intended, and try and get past him here, but it's quite a big gap, and we're going to see here, well, over 4 seconds here to Max Verstappen, who's currently sitting there in P6 here, but got a bit of rich fuel mixture left, so I'll see what I can do, but it's going to be quite tough to close him down there. He's in a better car. I mean, if we drove the best race of our life, we might be able to just about catch him, but I don't think that's going to be the case, but we'll keep it there just in case there's a mistake ahead from Max Verstappen, which we know he's not prone to a mistake now and again, so we'll see. Something might happen here. So down to the penultimate corner here in China. Another good couple of corners here for us, and we've actually pulled out a good amount of time there on Kevin Magnussen. Not needing to really worry about him now. We pulled out a decent enough of a gap. Last corner, and we're going to have closed in on Max Verstappen. Let's see if it's under 4 seconds. That's a good job from us there. And yes, it is. We've actually gained a decent amount of time there, setting our personal best of the race. And Kimi Raikkonen's out of this race. What's going on? This is going to be P6 for us here. There's a yellow flag. Is it round this corner? Yes, it is. There's Kimi Raikkonen sitting at the side of the track. Absolutely gutting for the Iceman there. He's going to have lost some valuable points in the championship, and Ferrari would have too. So I'm not sure where he fell from. I assume, though, he's probably in the podium positions. I think this is a bit of a Ferrari track, isn't it? I can't remember what happened in real life. Actually, maybe Hamilton won this one. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think it was quite close between the Mercedes and Ferraris in real life. So gutting there for Raikkonen. He probably was close to a podium position here. So lap number 9, we have the worrying news that our power unit is starting to go wrong. You can see there it's starting to go yellow/orange. So we've gone over the 50% barrier with that part there, meaning unfortunately we're not going to be able to push too much at the end of this race here. So I decided that as soon as I saw that and I saw that I wasn't really catching up to the back of Max Verstappen that much, you can see the gap there. It's sort of the same after lap after lap after lap, and I thought let's just really just keep it off and back it off here. But backing off didn't work. Look, a really confusing accident for me. I don't even know what to say there. Just I guess maybe a bit of lack of concentration of just not turning the car in at exactly the right point, but I ran wide there, really silly mistake to make, and unfortunately for us, that's put Magnussen right onto the back of us once again. A gap to Verstappen's now over 6 seconds, and you can see another small mistake there running wide, but we get a good exit out of that corner, so I suppose it's not too bad, but a silly mistake there, lost quite a bit of time to Verstappen, and more importantly, Magnussen is now right up behind us, meaning he's going to look for that DRS overtake here. Of course, in a couple of corners time, he's going to be able to go for that. So, well, of course, whether he's in a second or not, we don't know yet. But I'm pretty sure he's quite close to us in our mirrors here. So I'm pretty sure he's going to get that, especially if we keep making mistakes like that. Are we throwing this away? Are we throwing away a P6 result? That would be so silly of us to do. So, through the left, through the right. He's within a second in the sector split. And I think he probably will be within DRS zone as well. So, it's going to be tough. Down this back straight, we know the Haas is a quick car in a straight line. You guys would have seen the video yesterday. Down this back straight, we haven't got too much fuel left either. Even in standard, we're still using quite a bit of fuel. So down the back straight, Magnussen will be closing with that DRS, but not quite close enough. Luckily for us, the Williams is a pretty decent car in a straight line, if not the best, as you saw in the video yesterday. So we've done a pretty good job there, keeping it ahead of Magnussen here, but he's going to keep attacking us now with the DRS, and he's probably got a bit of a better chassis on him as well, and he's going to be right up behind us there, a bit of a lock-up into the final corner, meaning Magnussen's going to look for the move around the outside here. We'll defend the inside line. Magnussen's still not really quick enough in a straight line, and we still defend from Magnussen, so Magnussen's attacking well, but he can't find enough space there to get an overtake in. So we're keeping this P6 for now, but the two Haas cars are going to be quite close to us here as we go into the last couple of laps of this race here. So we go on to the penultimate lap here, lap 13, and you can see the gap to Verstappen's over 10 seconds now. I'm really just about defending from Magnussen over pushing, and a slim likelihood that Max Verstappen loses 10 seconds in one lap. So we're just all about keeping Magnussen behind us at this point. He's closer than he ever has been before, and I'm not going to lie, this slightly disappointed me. Even though I put it into the rich fuel mix, I would have, in real life, Magnussen would have flown past me here. He had DRS, I didn't, and he still didn't manage to get past me. So I was really surprised at that point. I was like, yeah, I know the Williams is a good car in a straight line, but I don't think it's that good. I'm pretty sure the Haas car was very close to the Williams in terms of top-end speed, and with DRS, he should definitely be overtaking me. So a little bit disappointed, the AI being a little bit indecisive there, not going for a bit more of a crazy move down the inside. I mean, of course you don't want the AI just throwing it up the inside and crashing into you, but AI, they still back out a bit too easy in my opinion. Last lap, I'm throwing it sideways still though. Oh, I'm not making it easy for myself here. On the last lap of this race, the Chinese Grand Prix is becoming a bit of a thriller here with 1 lap to go. Are we going to be able to hold off the two Haas cars? Because it's not just Magnussen behind me here. Grosjean's there as well, so we're struggling. We are struggling these last couple of laps. We had decent pace in the earlier part of this race on the super soft tyres and the early part of the soft run, but right now we're getting the tyre deck and we're struggling. And of course this corner here, the long left hand and the long right hand, and then we've got another long right hand at the end of this lap, is not going to be helping us with this bad tyre deck. So we're struggling here, last lap of the race, but we should, if we just don't think it's too silly, we should hopefully keep P6 here, which would be a great result for us here. And I think I've got the difficulty level exactly right now. I mean, of course, Lance Stroll will be much higher up. I think he has some sort of problem. You can see on the minimap, he's basically last. Actually, I think he is last of the people that are running, because 2 people have retired, haven't they? Palmer and Raikkonen both DNFing. So I think Stroll is last place, P18 right now, so I'm not actually sure what's happened to him. But anyway, Sebastian Vettel's won this race, and are we going to be able to stay ahead of the Haas cars? Well, we're not using rich fuel mix. I don't want to destroy the engine anymore, because I can see on the minimap, the Haas cars aren't that close. I think Magnussen might be within DRS zone, range, but I don't think, yeah, he's just not quick enough. Oh! Making a bit exciting for myself. Penultimate corner, throwing it sideways. Last corner. Okay, just don't do anything too silly, Alex. Throw it through the last corner, up to the start-finish line. It's going to be P6 in our second race of the season. I'm really happy with that. And, yeah, I'll take the points. I'll take the points. Best of the rest, basically, here today. Probably would have been P7 if Raikkonen didn't retire there today. But it's the way it goes. It's the way it goes. You've got to pick up those extra points if people do silly things and or retire because of it. But Sebastian Vettel, your race winner here today. So, a bit of a switch around from real life. I'm pretty sure the first race of the season was won by Bottas, wasn't it? So, a bit of a switch around. Of course, Mercedes won this race in real life. I think Ferrari won the first race of the season there. So, nonetheless, good stuff from Sebastian Vettel, picking up the maximum points. Bottas P2. Hamilton, after winning the first race of the season, picks up another podium there. So, he's going to be sitting pretty in the Drivers' Championship right now. I think he'll probably be top, but we'll see that in a second there. But he will have got 25 points for that and then 15 points for today. So, 40 points he'll I'll be honest, is whether anyone has outscored him over these 2 races. But of course, just about picking up points, and then as the championship goes on, you get a bit more aggressive with your overtakes later on the season. Vettel and Hamilton all smiley on the podium. Probably quite unlikely there, but let's have a look at the standings. Pretty good fastest lap from me there, I'm not going to say. Lesban, to be perfectly honest, quite a bit ahead of the Haas cars, but I'd say that was only on 1 lap really, then I was quite inconsistent after that. I was a bit up and down, and I think we just had 1 blistering lap after our pit stop, probably with a bit of DRS as well to get that lap time. Looking down the bottom there, Lance Stroll in P18, he must have had some sort of issue throughout the race there. I think the guy came over the radio and said he had an issue for a little bit, but they must have maintained for the rest of it. And in terms of the standings there, Vettel and Hamilton both on 40, Bottas on 15, sorry not 15, 30, then Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Verstappen and ourselves there, and we're currently P4 in the Constructors. Pretty good stuff. Sauber and McLaren yet to score, and I can see in this screen here in the laptop that we managed to go equal with Lance Stroll in the rival, which is good. Then after I stopped recording, we had these things pop up, so I thought I'd just quickly screenshot them for you guys. New part fitted, so that's a weight reduction, which is awesome to have, and I hope that's going to help us for the next Grand Prix, which is Bahrain. And we also got another part as well, which is pretty exciting here. 2 new parts for the Bahrain Grand Prix coming up tomorrow, guys, and that is the general wear part of the car, so that's only a minor upgrade, but still it's an upgrade nonetheless. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Please remember to leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. There's an F1 2017 giveaway going on, guys, so just you need to keep liking the videos, keep commenting down below, and I'll pick out one of you guys that's super active on the channel as a giveaway winner. So thanks for watching, guys. Have an epic day, and I'll see you lads tomorrow for more F1 2017 career mode. Goodbye.